a marriage. So, like, I'm going to specifically talk about your marriage now because I know damn well that it ain't perfect.
No, but no relationship.
But it's a different kind of marriage now. So it's more reciprocal.
Yes.
Your husband now is not perfect.
No, and I'm not perfect. I have my flaws.
Right. But he's making the best effort that he can.
Yes.
And I think that that's worth acknowledging. If somebody is in your life and is still trying, don't negate that.
Right.
You know, because, and again, guys and girls, people in general are going to handle things differently.
Oh, yeah.
Try to have those conversations.
Yeah. And communication, I think, is a big key. Like, if you have problems and you're just a type, that's one of the reasons what caused my first marriage, a divorce, was because if there was a problem, I wanted to talk it out and figure out a solution to help the problem a little bit. So we didn't go to bed angry. You know, it didn't, because I'm the type of person, it will keep eating up in my brain, like, and drive me crazy eventually, where I become a batshit crazy person. And I don't mean to, but it's just because it builds up, and I have a problem, you know, and I've always had a problem with just holding stuff in.
Right. Hurt people.
Yes.
That is a real thing.
And like,
when you're hurt, you want to like inflict hurt.
I'm not good with showing emotions in front of people. I'm not good with that. And so, but when it builds up, it comes out when you least expect it. And it's not usually bad timing.
Yeah, it's bad timing.
It's usually bad timing.
And that's why you can't. So, and there are two types of relationships. There's the relationship where these bad things are happening and it's pent up, and you actually try to talk about it, you try to work it out, and you're like facing a wall.
Right.
It's like that person is not hearing you, they don't want to hear you, they don't care. They're like, shut up and just be with me, or like deal with it or move on, I don't care. And then there's the relationship of, which I feel like you and David are, is that yes, there's all this hurt, and yes, there's all this frustration, but it's like, even though I don't know how to communicate this with you, there is a will to listen and a want to figure it out.
Well, we're very different people, but we've both been hurt and through the same situations with past relationships. So I think that's what helps us in a way. I mean, most guys,
you bond over
most guys are not communicators. Most guys don't want to talk about their problems. They don't want to talk about their emotions, how they're feeling. Women are more like that. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some girls that are not communicators, and there are some guys who are more emotional.
It goes both ways.
It can, but, you know, overall, I think it's just kind of like that, where, you know, you just have to express how you feel, but not in a hateful, angry way.
Right. And
sometimes when I'm like, you know, it's time of the month, or, you know, just having a bad day, like, sometimes I'll just think of that stuff. And that's one of my flaws and weaknesses, is just, I need to not do that. Because, like, he doesn't like that and all this stuff, and he doesn't know what to do, because he's like, why is she PMSing? What's the matter? You know, like, but it's just like, and a lot of times I have a tendency of bringing up the problems from my last marriage
into the new one.
New one. Because, like, I'll tell him, I'm like, we need to talk. If we have a problem, we need to talk it out. Because that's what scares me the most, is, like, I don't want to get divorced again. I don't want this to end up
be a revolving door.
You know, and, you know, my mom's like, you shouldn't be doing that. I was like, I know I shouldn't be doing that. But I'm like, I'm human. I'm a person. I have feelings. Oh, there he goes.
Bye, Mr. Possum. Love you. Come back again. Just don't eat my cat food next time.
Well, if you leave it out, he'll probably come eat.
It's pretty cute, though. I might keep doing it. But go ahead.
It was pretty cute. He didn't bother us.
No, he was cool. He was like, love you too. I think he just threw me a kiss a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And I love you too, babe. Just don't have my head.
Or is that water?
It's a mix. Yeah. It's how
whatever helps the cat.
That's how I keep the animals docile around here. Hell yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do. Same with my children, you know? Mix a little bit of milk with some vodka.
You probably shouldn't say that on the podcast.
You know, it's like harder than
Just kidding. We're just kidding.
No,
we're not.
No. Like, Julianne, go take a shot, son.
All right, well, hopefully DCF doesn't show up.
Hey, DCF, go fuck yourself. I'm a good mom.
We are.
Yeah.
We all have our moments, as,
Yeah.
you know.
Now, listen, I don't really feed my kids vodka, but that shit's funny, okay? That's all I gotta say. Take a joke.
Back in the day, they gave NyQuil.
Hey,
To help
hey,
sleep.
no, back in the day, they take moonshine or whiskey and rub it on the kids' teeth for teething and stuff. Nowadays, they'd be like, violation of human rights. You're going to jail. I'm like, really? Because my son did not get drunk off of me rubbing.
Gosh, if you spank your kids nowadays,
Yeah.
they would be-
Oh, no, listen. My son tried to... I don't know. That's a whole different podcast. Let's not get in there. But on the relationship aspect, I do feel like, you know, there's a time to acknowledge that it's not working, and there's a time to acknowledge that you need to make it work.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference. And it's all about, timing. Like I said, how long has this been happening? How consistent is it? Is this person even trying? If they're trying just a little bit, I mean, do it. Put in the freaking work. Because people are people, man.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of differences. You're not going to find perfect Mr. Prince Charming. You're not going to find that. But what you can find is someone that's willing to meet you halfway.
Right.
They might not come the whole way.
And they have different ways of showing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even my mom and dad, who's been married for, God, I don't know how many years, like, forever. But, like, she'll even say, like, his way of showing his love to her is changing her oil, like, and stuff like that, and cleaning her car. Like, he's not and, like, my husband's the same way. Like, he's not very affectionate and public person kind of thing. And a lot of guys are like that. I get that. Like, I respect that. You know, I'm not gonna... That's little petty stuff in my book. Like, it's not anything to argue and fight over and all this stuff. And I think, like, you could probably relate to this. Being in a relationship with kids.
Yeah.
Like, especially if your other person has kids too, from where you don't have kids together, it's very hard. I know you've probably been through it and stuff like that. It's very difficult, especially if, like, the parents aren't on the same page and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's hard because, like, when it's not your kid, you feel like you can't do.
No, you can't, and
you can't step on toes and tell the other person how to parent, how to take care of the kids. Because I know that for damn sure, I'd be pissed if someone tried to tell me how to raise my kid. Just because I'm that type of person. Now, if I was doing, like, totally wrong, like going out partying, getting drunk, leaving my kid home all the time,
that's a whole
putting my kid in
story.
danger, I'm always willing to listen to people's advice. You were about to smack my
I'm sorry. Maggie had a mosquito that's been flying around her head for like 10 minutes.
She was about to smack me.
I was like, girl, can I just... Do you mind?
I felt it. I was like, oh, her hands up. Let me move this before...
Sorry. I didn't want to interrupt the deep thought, but there was. I'm sorry. Just FYI, people, we are in the boonies. We're at my house in Middleburg, and the shit is real. We got possums. We got mosquitoes. What's next? I don't know, but it might get shady up in here.
I hope Bambi comes up here. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, we got all kinds of Bambis. I just can't.
I'm talking about like up in here.
Oh,
and just sit with us.
I could put some corn up on my front porch. That'll give me some Bambis.
Aw, little babies.
Yeah, but then I'd have to eat them because I love deer meat.
I like deer meat too.
I know that's sad. Actually, I'm joking. I'm not, but I am. Okay, anyways.
We have really bad ADD, by the way.
Yeah, it's a real thing, people.
This is why we're friends.
Yeah.
We can't keep
Cheers to the ADD and the boondocks.
Hey, that time we did like 10 minutes on this topic, so that's a little bit better.
We're doing good. No, I feel you, but I think that there's too many people that quit too early and there's too many people that hang on too long.
Yes.
And you got to find that median balance of, is this healthy? And when you're like constantly in distress,
and is it worth it?
And is it worth it? And
yes.
it's like when you're in love, you always think it's worth it.
Yeah.
When you're in love with someone, you're like, hell yeah, it's worth it. But when it's dragging
that takes
on,
over usually.
But when it's dragging on for years, and
mm-hmm.
now, so listen again. This comes back to what you were just saying about your parents. Like my parents too. They've been
mm-hmm.
married for over 20-something years, and my sisters are married 15 years. But they all still have problems, and it's not perfect. But I respect that they hold on.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't respect them if it was bad enough
if it was
to be
like
detrimental.
Abusive
Or not even just abusive. Like if it wasn't like fair.
Right.
It has to be some kind of fair. It doesn't have to be equal.
Yeah,
but it has to
kind
be.
Of meet in the middle.
It has to be, yes.
Yeah.
I start walking your way. You start walking.
Oh, God.
Mine.
Okay.
We made in the middle.
Please stop saying.
Wait. Georgia Pine.
Focus.
Okay. Stop. It's a good
Don't
song.
sing.
But you do. You gotta be in the middle.
I know. You do
I
have to be in the
got
middle.
some killer vocals. I'm starting my own band. I got an album I'm releasing in the next...
I like how your voice changes. Very hillbilly.
I can't help it.
Redneck.
There is some redneck in me. It's real.
The Middleburg's coming.
Yeah, it's soaking in. I'm turning into a redneck. No. But, I mean, yeah, like, I just feel like it is legit, and people do need to realize, and there's too many people stuck on one side or the other. There's a lot of marriages that end that shouldn't end. Like,
right.
You should fight for it. Especially, I'm sorry, but people, if you get married 3 times, don't divorce that person ever again. Like, obviously you still love them.
Yeah.
A breakup is different.
Are you talking about remarrying the same person?
Yeah, it's a thing. People do that.
There's a reason why you keep remarry
break up
them.
and then remarry, and then break up and then and then it's just like, no, you should have just stayed together and fought it out. If you love someone that much, you're still going down to the courthouse. Stay together. If it's someone that's constantly breaking up with you, like my situation was, if someone keeps telling you you're worthless and you're this and you're that, and over things that are like petty, if someone breaks up with you over something petty, there's your sign, Felicia. Like, that to me is like something I wish that I could tell myself on a daily basis. Like, don't let someone put you down for nothing. If you did something big, if you cheated, if you stole, if you lied, those can be issues that I understand a little bit. But when it's like petty shit, like, oh, you had an attitude, or you were
I'm not gonna lie, guys, girls, women, men, everyone has attitude. Yeah, everyone has their moments.
We're human beings.
Everyone's human. Men have, I swear to God, I believe men have their time of the month too.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have their little PMS outbursts and all this stuff.
Right.
So don't let anyone fool you by saying, oh, it's women PMS and all this stuff. Everybody has their moments.
I feel like every dude takes the opportunity when you're, like, having a moment to blame it.
Oh,
like, are you about to start your period?
Oh, yeah.
And that is like,
that drives me
that
nuts.
Is actually like declaring war.
That makes me more mad, and I yell more. Yeah. You could ask my husband.
Like, you need to acknowledge my feelings.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that men don't understand. All women want, we don't necessarily even need you to agree with us. We want you to acknowledge our feelings.
Yes.
So I think for my ex, for example, all I kept feeling was like, I just wanted him to hear me and be like, okay, I see you were hurt, and I'm sorry that you got hurt. I don't even need you to be like, I'm sorry for everything I did, I love you, and I want to be a better person, and I miss you so much. And I don't expect that from a dude. What I do expect is acknowledgement of my feelings, being like, I see that you're hurt, how can we get through this?
Right.
If they're not willing to do that, there is no future there. Yeah. It's done.
If they're not willing to see, like, you're sad and all this stuff, and I've had this problem before with past relationships, and, I love my husband to death, but he's not very good, which he's a man.
With intimacy, or?
No, not just showing, like, affection. Like, if he sees I'm sad or whatever.
That intimacy a little bit.
Yeah, like, if he sees I'm sad or whatever, like, he just doesn't know what to do.
Right.
And I get that.
Right. He
and
feels
I
a little
respect
helpless.
That.
Yeah.
That's why he's only seen me cry, like, twice.
But that's what I mean. Like, and if a dude sleeps it off, and he doesn't want to talk about it that night, again, it sucks and it's frustrating. It makes you mad.
As women, it just builds up.
We want to handle it right then.
Yes.
But I do think there's a healthy balance there. You do sometimes need to give your dude that night to sleep it off and then talk about it the next day.
Right.
But if they're not willing to talk about it the next day or the next day or the next day, there's your sign.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is key. They have to, at some point, be willing to acknowledge your feelings.
Right.
They have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're being selfish. You're being self-orientated.
Right.
You don't care about what I'm
and
going
the blank
through.
stares, like while you're trying to like,
I hate a robot. Yeah.
like, you're like crying and you're like telling them how you feel, and like I had a bad day or whatever not too long ago, and like my husband was just like, you know, it's normal, which I usually let it go, and I'm like, okay, well, this is how he is. You know, he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to whatever. And then the next day, he's like, I'm sorry. Like, he'll